Our unnamed narrator, who I'll call Jack, works a steady job as an automotive recall coordinator. Jack is inattentive and spiritless in the work environment, but lacks the gall to clamor about his discontent. And he has insomnia.
For 6 months, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. With insomnia, nothing's real. Everything's far away. Everything's a copy of a copy of a copy.
There's a giant void in Jack's life which causes the insomnia. Jack's superego, which are moral standards, represses his id, which are subterranean urges, in order to follow a strict driving routine. Jack takes pleasure from his material possessions. He's been emasculated by a secure lifestyle which keeps him from reaching full potential. His time to truly live is escaping, and with that, so is his superego.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
With the supernatural aid of Marla Singer and Tyler Durden, who's the polar opposite of Jack and a spontaneous fiery soap maker, Jack experiences a radical transformation. During the process, he experiences a birth, or possibly the opposite. Finds a calling, is pushed by supernatural aid, endures a road of trials,
Now had corporate sponsorship.
is killed, and reborn, and reaches an apotheosis and boom. He essentially completes the full hero journey. Throughout the journey, Jack finds himself and learns how to live. We can figure out how this all happened by delving further into the character's mind.
I was a recall coordinator. My job was to apply the formula. Take the number of vehicles in the field, A, multiply it by the probable rate of failure, B, then multiply the result by the average out-of-court settlement, C. A times B times C equals X. If X is less than the cost of a recall, we don't do one.
Jack resents his job, struggling through each droll day to earn a steady salary, which is needed to fuel his satiation for material items. His being has no substance. He subconsciously knows that and longs to reach self-actualization.
Everywhere I traveled, tiny life, single serving sugar.
Originally, Jack's
single
routine
serving
was his
cream,
guiding compass.
Single pat of butter, the microwave cordon bleu hobby kit, shampoo conditioner combos, sample packaged mouthwash, tiny bars of soap. The people I meet on each flight, they're single-serving friends. Between takeoff and landing, we have our time together, but that's all we get.
Jack was raised without a father figure, which explains his petty emasculation and diminished drive for rogue freedom. He feels content with not taking action. He's an insecure office drone paralyzed by the notion of breaking his routine and too uptight to face his boss, though underneath, his psyche is bubbling. Jack is devoid of freedom and of living as he was destined to, so he develops insomnia.
When you have insomnia, you're never really asleep, and you're never really awake.
So he talked to his doctor.
I'm in pain.
You want to see pain? Swing by First Methodist Tuesday nights. See the guys with testicular cancer. That's pain.
I let go. Lost in oblivion. Dark and silent and complete. I found freedom. Losing all hope was freedom.
When people think you're dying, man, they really, really listen to you instead of just
waiting for their turn to speak.
The insomnia is alleviated through the support groups. Using them as a daily emotional release, Jack began to feel empathy and learned to rely on having a good cry to live sanely. Jack, who's usually plagued by the stress to live like he should, can view life in peace and be himself within the groups.
Every evening I died, and every evening I was born again. Babies don't sleep this well.
Jack was thriving until someone new showed up in the testicular cancer group.
Marla, the big tourist. Her lie reflected my lie. And suddenly, I felt nothing. I couldn't cry. So once again, I couldn't sleep.
Marla is a supernatural aid to Jack. She unravels Jack's mental fabrication of the support groups, instilling him with skepticism on the verity of his whole system. Unknowingly, Jack is captivated by her, while her dominant female presence as a temptress forces him to feign a masculine facade, which means no crying. The insomnia returns. Jack's psyche has such a thirst to experience thrill that he imagines his plane crashing whenever he flies. Around this time, Jack meets Tyler Durden on a flight. He represents the impossible embodiment of pure virility. He's strong, cool, dauntless, and bold. Just look at him. He teaches Jack that the things you own end up owning you. All humans are made of the same decaying matter, but the human essence is far transcendent, making us more than what we're made of. It's with this advice that Jack begins to let his superego slip and live in the present.
Right. We are consumers. We are byproducts of a lifestyle obsession. Murder, crime, poverty, these things don't concern me. What concerns me are celebrity magazines, television with 500 channels, some guy's name on my underwear. Rogaine, Viagra, Olestra.
Martha Stewart.
Fuck Martha Stewart.
In Jack's context, supernatural aid was anything that shepherded him towards his fervent transformation into a nihilistic iconoclast with a streak for life. As mentioned, Marla opened up the floodgates to his subconscious by depriving him of his most vital necessity, an emotional medium. Internal pressure mounted as a result that led to branching supernatural aids for Jack. His subconscious is an aid in and of itself. Ensuing Jack's first talk with Tyler, whose confrontation was an aid catalyzed by Marla's intrusion, Jack comes home to a surprise.
She could have clicked on.
His condo had blown up, thus inciting him to call up Tyler, who's thrilled to let him reside at his place. This is a case of support of the unconscious and unexpected assistance.
What a shithole.
You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your fucking khakis. You're the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
Jack becomes engrossed and allured by Tyler's raw, new philosophies.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
He and Tyler build an army, start fighting, and then escalate into more dangerous capers, all for the purpose of spreading their anti-consumerist message and living what they preach. Jack's unintentionally taken over by his and Tyler's spiritual landscape, where symbolic figures such as Marla and Tyler represent internal obstacles. This works jointly with Jack's gradual descent into madness, though in the meantime he's radiant. While fighting, he feels powerful and masculine.
After fighting, everything else in your life got the volume turned down.
He even found a way out of his dampening job, which gave him more time to be involved. Tyler becomes more extreme and more cryptic, working on something called Project Mayhem, and Jack begins to feel left out of the group as his doubts and fears rise to the surface. When they do, Tyler tells him to let go of his superego and repress feelings of guilt. During this whole road of trials, Tyler's been having near constant sex with Marla, while Jack still feels repulsed by her social abnormalities. The thought of Tyler and Marla having sex makes him sick. Project Mayhem, a plan to topple the American corporate system, is in full effect, and Jack has no clue where he fits in. While in action, his friend Bob is killed. Jack's outraged, knowing full well that things have gone too far. He can't even find himself. He feels left out not being involved in Project Mayhem. To him, it's as if he's been swallowed into the unknown. This is amplified by Tyler's abrupt disappearance. In addition, Marla's been acting strangely with Jack, giving him strange looks and verbally questioning his mental state. Jack now has a shift in logic. Shedding his skin, he decides to use his available intel to track down Tyler and put a stop to whatever dastardly plans are up his sleeve. Wherever he goes, he just barely misses Tyler. There are fight clubs established in every location Jack visits, and he feels bound by the silent group affiliates that he stumbles upon. Finally, he meets Tyler, who's sitting in wait at his hotel room. Tyler's odd rambling perplexes Jack, who knows that something is up. He realizes that people have been mistaking him as the founder of Fight Club and calls Marla for clarification.
You love me, you hate me. You show me a sensitive side, then you turn into a total asshole. Is that a pretty accurate description of our relationship, Tyler?
We have just lost cabin pressure. What did you just say?
What is wrong with you?
What did you just call me? Say my name.
Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden, you...
Jack's realistic fears and hostilities flood out as he recognizes his own grave errors. Tyler has been a figment of his imagination the whole time. He was the one doing everything, including having sex with Marla.
You were looking for a way to change your life. You could not do this on your own. All the ways you wish you could be, that's me. I look like you want to look. I fuck like you want to fuck. I am smart, capable, and most importantly, I'm free in all the ways that you are not.
As an insecure insomniac, Jack's mind had created alpha male Tyler, who's similar to Marla, so that Jack could feel virile enough to pursue Marla. After first seeing her, she was in everything. She exemplified the crux of what was missing from Jack's flawless condo. The feelings for the traits that Marla possessed were always deep inside of Jack. Anyways, now that Jack knows what he knows, rather than hide from the damage done, he begins to frantically try to foil his own plan, feeling horrid for all the rotten things he's done.
I ran until my muscles burned and my veins pumped battery acid.
Since when is Project Mayhem about murder?
The buildings are empty. Security, maintenance, all our people. We're not killing anyone, man. We're setting them free.
He has to fight with himself to stop himself. This is at the operations base, 3 minutes till the plan goes down.
My head.
Your voice in mine.
You're a fucking hallucination. Why can't I get rid of you?
You need me.
No, I don't. I really don't anymore.
You created me. I didn't create some loser alter ego to make myself feel better. Take some responsibility.
I do. I am responsible for all of it, and I accept that. I don't want this.
What do you want? Want to go back to the shit job? Fucking condo world watching sitcoms? Fuck you. I won't do it.
You're not real. That gun is even in your hand. That gun's in my hand.
Okay.
My eyes are open.
Jack didn't kill Tyler. He vanquished him by manning up and becoming what Tyler was psychologically there for. Jack mistook the boon for immortality, but is now enlightened having gone through these experiences. He's finally broken through his personal spiritual limitations and realized that brawn and looks do not make a man, just as material possessions don't. Everything had to do with Marla.
Yes, but it's okay. Marla, look at me. I'm really okay. Trust me. Everything's gonna be fine.
Despite these consequences, Jack has gone through the full hero journey and is truly enlightened and alive.
You met me at a very strange time in my life.